Okay. What's up, guys? Surprise live with the man from No Cut Cards.
What's
Kevin, how
up?
you doing, bud?
Good, man. What's going on?
So last night we talked about life's up and downs, and I blame myself because I kind of got sidetracked. I was distracted, stuck in my head, which again, going back to life's up and downs, you still got to do what you got to do, right? So more or less what I'm wondering is when we have those down moments where we're depressed and we don't want to fucking actually do what we got to do, but we do it anyways, much like last night, I was kind of distracted by everything going on in my head and all that. You know, my question is, I still came on here, I still did what I had to do, but as I proved a point last night, is when you're down, you may not perform to the best of your abilities, right? So what do you do so that way you can perform to the best of your abilities when you're feeling down?
You just push through it. I mean, I wish there was a magic pill, but there's not. And honestly, it's one of those things where when you feel like shit and you don't want to do anything, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to wake up. You don't get out of the covers. You just, one of those miserable, miserable fucking moments. Like it's hard as hell to do it. But when you do it the next day or even afterwards, you feel 20 times better because you were able to do it. And honestly, that's really is a win, to be honest with you. If you feel like absolute crap and you do it anyways, I mean, I don't know, like what are the better, I guess, what other kind of, I guess, win do you need? Like you felt like absolute shit, but you still push through it. Like, and a lot of people can't push through that type of thing. They get in their own head and they sit and they can't do anything. They get like kind of demobilized in a way, but then you push through it. I mean, it just builds you to be the person that, what can't you do if you feel that terrible and you do it anyways? I mean, you kind of own the world at that point.
I agree. So I had to take off my jacket. I was feeling a little hot there. Look, I said it earlier when we were backstage, when we were talking and everything like that. I just want to point out, and this has nothing to do with life's up and downs, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the down moment in your life. What's up? What's up, Heathen Ken? Storm, welcome in. I said it backstage. We were both sitting there like this, and I'm looking at you. I'm like, damn, I got a lot of work to do. I mean, that's literally that's what popped in my head. Is damn, I got a lot of work to do. Look at this guy. Which is something else that I would like to eventually talk about on the podcast and even videos when I start making them. When I used to feel down and I really didn't want to do anything, I noticed going to the gym helped me. It kind of like brought me out of that freaking funk. I don't know why, but it did. So I know for me, I go work out. If I'm feeling down, I go work out. Well, yesterday I wasn't able to work out. I had 5 kids crawling up my rear, but you know how it goes.
Yeah, I get that. Well, I've gone to the gym forever, and honestly, so at this point, it's like if I don't go, I feel like shit. And I'll be honest with you, but I have had a span, I'll say recently, where I haven't gone nearly as much, and I've realized that it's funny because like for me, if I don't go, I don't really notice how much it actually affected me until I go back. So if I miss, 3-4 days, now I gradually start feeling like shit. I'm like, man, I just feel like crap. And then I guess the point where like you don't go becomes habit. You kind of want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Well, when you go and you get through it, you're like, you just feel 10 times better, like automatically.
Like, why didn't I just go, right?
Right. And I think that also comes to what was said a minute ago is you do something you don't want to do. You get through it and you're like, holy shit, that's a win. And I feel like really like everything just gets better at that point. Like things just come to you. It's really odd how it works. But when you can really push through all that shit, it makes a huge difference just to fucking do it. Even something minimal. It makes such a huge fucking difference.
I completely agree. Which, I know one of the, like I said last night, one of the most depressed moments of my life was actually when I was living in Ohio fighting for my kids. I was homeless and I was sleeping out of my truck. I think that was I don't want to say the ugliest I ever looked, but I looked the part of a homeless guy. I'll tell you that much because I wasn't eating properly. Like my face was so sucked up, it was unreal. If I had a picture, I'd put it up, and you guys would be like, "What the hell?" Yeah, I looked like I was dying right there. But I will have to say is when I started going back to the gym and everything like that, and mind you, this was while I was still fighting for my kids. I finally got into my own place. I got a decent job. I was going back to the gym. I was, getting haircuts. It's weird how things like that could make you feel better about yourself. Just getting a haircut. Sorry if you guys are hearing me fuck with my hat, but getting a haircut, shaving your face, and all that. 'Cause I mean, like, look, dude, my beard looked all bushy. I looked like a
Yeah.
homeless person.
Yeah.
And it's weird how just little things like getting a haircut, being able to shower and shave, does a wonders for your mental psyche. You
Yeah.
know, so um, like I decided I woke up one day. I literally woke up one day and I looked in the mirror. I remember exactly where I was. I was at a Bell gas station. I think it was called Bell, something like that. But it was in Shreve, Ohio. I looked in the mirror in the bathroom there because I was there to wash my hands, my face, and everything. But I looked in the mirror and I saw myself for the first time, like actually saw myself. And for those of you guys that have gone through depression or anything like that, and you actually look in the mirror and you actually see yourself for what's there. I wasn't happy with what I see in the mirror, and I was like, no, fuck this, I got to change. So I got off my ass and I started looking for a job. I that poor Durango. I drove this 1999 Dodge Durango around, and I'm telling you, that thing smelled like, because I mean, literally, I just gave up. My dogs were shitting all over it because I had my service dog with me. She was shitting all over it. Like, I mean, it was bad. But the bad part is, and this is what my doctor said. Your dog looks well fed, but you look like you're dying. It's weird because I was malnourished. My dog was perfectly healthy. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's the things. Like, it seems like we put ourselves last, and so I started working again. I was able to eat, and I was able to I went to the truck stop to shower just so I smelt better. I went to the laundromat after I had some money in my pocket, did my clothes. It felt better just being clean.
Yeah.
um I remember looking in the mirror at that gas station. I was like, I got to do better. I got to do better for myself. And it's like, as soon as I decided that and I started working towards that, like, things started happening. I got my kids back. I got an apartment. I got a job. I got a better truck. Like, it was like I was literally at the end of my rope, and I said, "Fuck this! I got to do better." So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I guess until you have that realization, I guess you just don't understand the beauty of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, when you go back and forth, I mean, we all go back and forth all the time. You feel like shit, you feel okay. You feel like shit, you feel okay. And it's funny because, like, it's like you said, you look in the mirror and you were like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, what is this?" And but the sad, like you said, that's like you get a haircut, do some minimal shit, you feel better about yourself. And it's funny because even those little things, when you feel a little bit better about yourself, it's like a chain reaction because you feel a little bit better, and then you like get some better clothes on. You're like, okay, now I look better. I feel like,
Yeah.
now, granted, it's what's on the fucking inside that matters, but it is, but it's also you don't see what's on your inside. You see what's on the outside. So if you look like shit yourself, you're like, I look like shit.
You're gonna feel like shit.
You're gonna feel like shit, and then you're gonna attract shit at the same time.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just being honest. That's just honest. That's
Speaking
how
of
it works.
attracting shit, so there were points that I was hanging out with people that I probably really shouldn't have been hanging out with. Like people just oh, real quick, I just got an actual message. Heathen Ken, congratulations on your promotion, bud. That's all. That's amazing.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah! There we go.
I actually got a message on Messenger about that. So congratulations, brother. I'm proud of you. Um,
Awesome.
but I remember the people I was hanging out with at the time. Like, this is a different time, not the time I was homeless, but it was I was in Arizona, and I was hanging out with a really bad crowd. It actually got me in a lot of trouble and all that. That's the other thing. The people you attract, or the people that are around you, are going to bring you down in the mindset to lift themselves up and push them forward. You know, so like during one of my most up times is actually when I met both Heathen Ken and Two Vets Canine. You know, I met them, and it's like they pushed me, you know, like kind of like what you did. You know, they pushed me to do better for myself. They pushed me into not quitting. You know, Storm over on Facebook, which I'm currently live on Facebook. For those of you guys on Facebook, if you want to jump over to the YouTube channel, it's empowered_mindset 26. Jump in, or you can go over to the official No Cut Cards on YouTube and jump in his. And
I don't think mine's on. I don't think mine's on. So go. No,
okay,
that's our mine.
just jump over here. But you know, Storm, that's another one. Oh, you're good, man. That's another one. You know, she always push me. You know, like I've managed to gather people around. Instead of gathering people around that are holding me back, I've managed to gather people around that are actually wanting to do better with their lives. Speaking of which, you know, Storm, she's a content creator as well, who's over on Twitch, and she does amazing things over there. She's completely, you know, I don't know how to. She's family friendly, let's put it that way. But she does horror games, so. So I mean, these people, they're all content creators, and it pushed me to do better with my content. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So like it's like the people you attract around you, you know, are going to push you in either direction. So like you're right here in a line, you know, you're right there on the line. You've got a choice of going either way, and like you have friends that are way over here. You know, you're going to try to go way over here on that good side to where you're pushing yourself to your limits to do better. And that's one thing that I will say has helped me through my times, especially my dark times. You know, they push me. They're like, what are you doing laying it? You know, like you said the other day, why haven't you done it yet? You know, when I said, you know, my dream is to have a podcast, start motivating people with my words and inspiring them. And, you know, well, why haven't you done it yet? You know, it's like those type of people are what's going to push me further versus the type of people that are like, cool, let's go drink some beer and party, you know, or hey, instead of doing that, why don't we go play a video game?
Right. Well, and there's nothing like, so there's nothing wrong with people who, you know, different things in their lives. Like, you know, if people want to go have fun and do this, that's fine. If people want to go and just work all the time and build things, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just where you want to fit in, because, you know, everyone heard a million times, you know, who you're around is what you're going to be. That's all there is to it. And it's not that these people over here are bad. It's not that these people over here are better. It's just where you want to go yourself. So if you're cool with having fun every day and not, you know, that's fine. You're going to go that way. But you won't be around people that are building themselves. And that's one thing about this whole fucking process is nuts for the most part, is like you get to a certain point to where like it's probably the loneliest point you're going to be at, because you don't fit in with anybody that you used to, but then you also don't fit in with anybody that are up here. You're like right in the middle. And that's where I think you really find yourself, because you realize that it's really you is who you have to count on, even in your low times, you know, like
it kind of reminds me of that saying, you know, it's lonely at the top, you know what I mean? But the way I look at it, it's only as lonely as you make it, you know? You can be on top of the world, wonder if everyone's just trying to take advantage of you. Or you can be like, okay, well, let's take Two Vets Canine, you, Heathen Ken, Storm, you know, the people that I've mentioned tonight, you know, they can be there with me on top, you know, in that case. Another thing, you know, I made a video on TikTok about it because I actually ran across someone's page. They were talking about how the 1%ers are the enemy. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, 1%ers, how are they the enemy? And like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way my mind thinks, but it's like, no, they're the competition. I'm sorry to say it, but they're the competition. They're what we should be competing against to try to make it better. You know, instead of griping about people that are millionaires and billionaires, you know, why aren't you trying to push yourself to do better? So that way maybe you can be up there with them.
Right.
You know,
well, honestly, so like that's what. So I mean, I think the same thing all the time ago. It's like when you think of someone that's extremely wealthy, it's like, oh, they're probably, you know, they're selfish. They're pieces of shit. They robbed everybody. They fucked everybody over. That's the first thing you think of. But when you really dig into it and you look, many of the high, like the wealthiest people, they have been through absolute shit. Like they really have. You look at their past, like they've been through shit, and that's why I try to tell people, it's like, you've been through like a whole wrath of shit, but that's good because that means you're on that same level. The only difference between them and anyone who's not is that they kept going and they didn't let anything stop them. They just kept fucking going. So, plenty of them. Okay, good example. Like, let's go with Corey Taylor, Slipknot,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
He was molested when he was younger, out the ass. Like he had an awful, 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 awful childhood. Terrible.
Oh yeah.
But what did he do? He used it to benefit. He used his past to benefit him to go forward. And that's what a lot of people don't do is they live by the shit. I just made a video about that earlier. They live by the past, and like that's the problem. You use the past to grow yourself, but don't live by it. If you just focus on all your downtime, you focus on all the shit, the heartache, all the crap, you're gonna stay there. You're gonna live in the fucking past. And that's the problem that people have. And if
I agree.
and it gets harder. Like it's not easy to do. But if you can push through that, that's where the 1%ers go. That's where all the wealthiest people, they have done that. Like the guy that I watch, Grant Cardone. I mean, he lived terribly younger, drug addict, all sorts of shit. Didn't start doing anything until he was 27, 28. Well, now he's 65, but he's worth $5 billion. But why?
Yeah.
Because he literally just kept going. So what I'm saying is anyone out there who has gone through all absolute shit time to go through them right now, there's time. There's always time. And you can, anybody can make it. Not everybody can make it, but you don't know until you push through. And, I've had this conversation before is someone asked me like, okay, what if you keep pushing, right? You live your life and you push and you never make it. Like, what if you die before you make it? Okay. Well, here's the thing. If you had a purpose and you pushed as hard as you could and you had that vision, if you die before it happens, well, guess what? You just lived your life full of purpose. You enjoyed your life because you were striving for something, right?
See,
So it's really a win-win.
I honestly don't believe that, that, how do I put this? I don't believe that because you make $1 million or you have a very successful company or multiple companies, I don't believe that makes you rich. I believe what makes you rich is, one, the quality of time you've spent on this earth. I believe the quality of people you have around you. I believe the memories you make is what makes you rich. And that's my personal belief. A lot of people may not believe that. But I also believe that if you have a purpose, you have a desire to actually be that person that has, multiple businesses or even one business. If you're not pushing yourself, and there's a saying, you got to want it as much as you want to breathe. I believe that. You've got to want it as much as you want to breathe. Now, I made a video also about that. 4 years ago, I had told a creator that I met on TikTok that I wanted to be a motivational speaker and I wanted to inspire people, like I said, and 4 years ago, I stated it. He said the same thing. Today, that guy has, I think, 400 some odd thousand followers. And look at me. I'm just now starting up. He's already started up 2 podcasts. He has an organization, and a lot of followers. A lot of people supporting him. Now, had I stayed with my path and actually, instead of just speaking it, I want to be a motivational speaker, I want to inspire people, and I actually started walking that path, where would I be today? Granted, I probably wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know Two Vets. I wouldn't know Heathen Ken. And if I did, they probably wouldn't like me because I'm already, I was already up there. Right.
Right.
So I believe people come into your life at certain times for certain reasons, but you're always going to wind up like I believe it was you that told me the other night, no matter what, if your path is what your path is, you're going to wind up on it somehow. It's going to probably hurt the opposite way, but you're going to wind up on it. My first podcast, the first podcast I had on here, with you, what happened that night, that morning, I got off work. I was driving home. I blew the motor in my car. I really didn't feel like doing the podcast, did I? I'm like, I really don't want to do this, man. And I did it anyways. The problem we have is it's at our lowest moments. I believe that's why we need to push further to what our dreams are. Right.
Yep. It's their test, whether you want to call it life or God or whatever the hell you want to call it. That's not the point. It's their test. And that's the thing is, if you realize, I've realized this as when you get a good idea or you're like, hell yeah, I want to do, or you start doing something new, shit just goes downhill. Everything. It's like, it's like things are trying to stop you from doing it. Right. But I think a lot of people, and I used to think the same way like myself a long time ago, if I started doing something, all of a sudden this happened and this happened and this happened. I'm like, okay, it must be the wrong thing to do. But in actuality, I see it and how I've lived it is that's completely the opposite. It's when things start happening like that, it's like, okay, this is the right path
Mhm.
because this shit is happening to keep you from doing it. Not that it's a bad thing, but but they're tests. Like if you can push through to do something you want to do and go through a wrath of shit, right? That means you earned it. That means you can handle what's coming next because you won't get what you can't handle. There's no doubt about it. So
No, I
some
agree.
people might be sitting here working their ass off and working their ass off and their ass off for years and years and nothing happens. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Because there are some attributes that you don't have yet that you need for that next level. That you don't have them. And like you said, at your low times, like that is when we're built. That is when we are built as fucking people. There is no doubt. You learn nothing from success. You learn everything from getting your ass beat and failure. Yeah, well, failure is only if you don't ever start or you quit. But you know what I mean? When you're down that low point, that's where you built yourself. That's 100%.
It's like a good blade. I've heard many bladesmiths say it. It doesn't gain strength from being beaten. It gains strength from the fire, right? You put it in the fire, you beat it down, put it in the oil or water. I'm not a bladesmith, so I can't really tell you the process. But how does a blade get stronger? You get stronger by what? Going through the fire and being beaten. That's what. Look at your low times. Is that you're going through the fire, you're getting beaten, you're getting to be built as a tool. A tool to compete with anything, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm learning. That all my past traumas that I've went through, that was. And I know not everyone believes in God. I'm a Christian. Most people that know me know I'm a Christian. I believe that was God's way of saying, "Hey, you're not ready yet. I'm going to make you ready." Right? I asked for patience. I wound up getting delivered 5 kids. I asked for this, and what happened? People came into my life that actually pushed me to do it. Now, granted, it took me way too long, and believe me, I went through some hell before I actually started doing it. But what I'm saying is, don't give up. Just keep going. That's the beautiful thing about life's up and downs. Is like have the title so named. You've got to learn how to handle the downs, so that way when you get to the up part of your life, where things are going great, that hey, this is something I earned, and it may not last forever, right? Because you're never like, if I was to walk up and give you $1 million, yeah, you'd be great for a minute, but if you didn't invest that $1 million to make more money, you're just gonna blow it, right? So you blow the money. Now where are you at? Now you're probably even further in debt because you didn't do what you should have done in the first place.
Right. Well, that's
I went and bought a big house and a nice Lamborghini, something like that. Well, now you're broke. How are you going to pay for that big house and the taxes on that nice Lamborghini or whatever,
Yeah. Well, like we talked about last night, I think it was 2 nights ago. We talked about the same thing. You're like, want to do it for 3 or 4 years. Haven't done it. Now I'm doing it now. Well, I asked you the question. I said, all that shit you're going through 3 and 4 years ago, would you have been able to actually do this?
No.
3 or 4, would you be able to give it the attention? Would you be able to even have the time? You wouldn't have been able to. So that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, you think that maybe, oh, well, I wasted 3 or 4 years, but you weren't ready. You couldn't have done it then. But now as things have progressed, now you're at the right time to do it. But that's how you got to think about a lot of different shit is, you might take you forever to do something, but there's probably a fucking reason for it.
Yeah. I personally think, honestly, and actually, no, I'm going to say I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it because where I was at in my mind space and my head space is, if I had tried to do it 3 or 4 years ago, it would have been done. Like I wouldn't have been able to. I would have gave up then.
Yep.
Being as I'm doing it now, and I've gotten a lot in my opinion, I've gotten a lot stronger mentally. I think that's why I'm able to do this. And if something happens, which once again last night just proved it, being distracted trying to do what you're doing and still doing it just shows strength. But like tonight, I'm not as distracted. I'm still trying to push forward through this. I feel better, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Real quick, for those of you guys over on Facebook, you can join us over here on YouTube at empowered_mindset26. Go ahead and like, subscribe. That way you get the notification when I go live. I will not be doing Facebook after what I say next week, I think it was. I will not be going on Facebook Live anymore. I will strictly be over here on YouTube. So please do me a favor, come over here and like and subscribe so that way you get the notifications. It's a lot easier for me to check comments from my computer than constantly turning and looking at my phone. So for those of you guys, it'd be really amazing. Also, don't forget to go to the official nocutcards.com. He has a section there which you can put your story in. Help other people with your story because your story may inspire someone else to keep pushing forward. Also, don't forget to check out the store. The store is amazing. I'm partially fond of a certain shirt. It's that actually says "Lives Taken, Freedom Given." Beautiful shirt. It was I think we discussed it on Veterans. It was actually a couple days after Veterans Day, and that's actually how I met Kevin from No Cut Cards. Was literally TikTok. I saw his dark humor for Veterans Day, and I loved it. So I had to help out. I had to continue the joke and make it seem like I was going back out to the call-out game and I was calling him out for saying something negative about veterans, but I think it worked pretty well. Awesome. Thank you for the subscription, Taylor. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I think I had fun with that one, and ever since then we've just been rolling with the punches. Thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa is actually a good friend of mine that I've known since childhood. But back to what I was saying. You know, it seems like, and that's another thing, you know, there's a saying that says you can never go home, right? It's never the same, right? So when I was in Ohio, I was starting to do really good, right? I was got my kids back. I had my apartment. I had 2 vehicles. I had a motorcycle. I was doing great. I felt like I was on top of the world, right? Well, I decided, fuck it. I'm moving back to Missouri. Moved back to Missouri, and that's where everything seemed to just flatline for me. I wound up going through the divorce with my ex-wife, which is something I'm really happy about. Don't get me wrong. But Facebook, that is empowered_mindset26. So you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna put it in. Give me 1 second. Empowered _ mindset 26. Oops. Okay. Pin comment. There you go. Okay. So for those of you guys that don't know, I just put it in, pin the comment. There you go. So I moved back here, started fighting my divorce, and it just seemed like one thing after another. You know, CPS was constantly getting called on me, everything like that. And it's like I was battling not only CPS here, but also a divorce at the same time. And of course, you know, I didn't let it get me. I didn't let it get to me too bad to where I couldn't focus as a parent. But literally any other option that I had to do anything like the podcast, working and all that, it made it really difficult because here in the state of Missouri, if you don't have full custody of your children, you know, your ex can literally walk in, take your kids, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, if you're at home, and it sucks. I'm telling you right now, it sucks. I think the laws are stupid here in Missouri, but hey, it happens. Are you still there, Kevin? Yeah, you're there. Okay. You're muted. I don't know how you're muted, man. Oh, I think we just lost him. Well, guys, I will say, whatever you're going through, push. I switched over. Well, thank you. Chrono Gamer Chronicles. Thank you for switching over. Welcome in. I'm trying to get Kevin back. We're having technical difficulties apparently. Oh, his mic and cam disconnected. That's fine. So, like I said, whatever you're going through, push through it. I promise. I promise. You keep pushing. Go for your dreams. You know, I actually there's a streamer He's actually new to streaming. Oh, what's up, Spencer? Okay, so by the way, go check out Spencer if you can. Put in the comments on your new book. Congratulations on that. I'm actually very proud of you for that. It's another guy. Your personal YouTube. No, not my personal YouTube. This is literally for this podcast. And I don't know if we're gonna get Kevin back. Can add him to the stream. Okay, so we are going to figure out what's going on. But yeah, like I said, whatever you guys have planned or your dreams, push for it. Because if you don't push for it, no one else is going to. No one's going to push you to get up in the morning and go to the gym. Say you want to work out, become a little bit bigger. It's not going to happen. No one's going to push for that. I think we just got Kevin back. We just got him back.
Jesus.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Shit
Is it
happens.
working? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, there we go. What the hell that was? I'm not very technologically advanced, so we're lucky God even got it back on here.
Hey, you know what? Shit happens. God, why is my... No, 1 second. Oh, nope. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Crap. My phone is taking a shit on me. See? When one bad thing happens, they all happen.
There it is.
Okay. So, to answer your question, John, no, this is not my personal YouTube. This is my business YouTube. That's linked to my personal, I think. I think that's how it works. What is my podcast about? Mindset change, mental health. Normally about men's mental health, but tonight it's pretty much everyone. I kind of discuss different attributes on both sides. John, as you know, all the shit I went through out in Ohio, I know a lot of you guys do that are in here right now. And the shit I've gone through here just living in Missouri. I've decided to take my past and try to help others. So.
Yep, that's the way to do it too. That's one thing. That's something. If anyone else out there, if you say if you have, everyone been through a wrath of shit, but you have no idea how many people you can actually help. You have no idea how many people you actually help with all the crap you've been through.
Oh yeah,
because there's a lot of people that have been through a lot of shit and don't even know where to start to look for whether it's even possible to get through it. So if you have been through a rough patch and you have gotten through it, that's where those stories come really handy on the website. It's new, mine's on there, but like that's where they come, and they're anonymous. But if anybody has any stories of anything they've been through, and then kind of how you've gotten through it, growth, mindset, and how you're doing now, it could really change a lot of lives. And that's my whole purpose of what I'm doing too. It's all the shit I've been through. Yeah, I don't talk about it, but you know what? I don't have to, because I know what I've been through. And if I can help other people just get through what they're going through, that's the name of the game. That's it.
I agree. There's I know with everything that I've been through, not only like Vanessa could tell you, I was estranged from my son, for a long time. I was estranged from my son from a long time, and I missed a lot of years in his life. It wasn't necessarily my fault, but it wasn't necessarily his mom's fault either. It was kind of a mix between the two. It seems like when bad as it sounds, when bad shit happens, they happen bad. The problem is we don't know where to get the motivation to push forward. Thank you, Ness. Like I said, we don't know where to get the motivation to push forward. And I kind of found out that there is a such thing. You've heard of the saying, fake it till you make it? Well, there's a saying, there is a such thing as false motivation. If you have to just think of, oh, well, guess what? I can do this. I got this. Let's do this, and just like literally hype yourself up. There's like little techniques you can do to hype yourself up, little techniques you can put out there just so that way you are better, like mentally. One of them happens to just be fucking yelling, as bad as it sounds, an excited yell, like, oh yeah, something like that. Stuff like that. I mean, that can hype you up. You got to be your own hype man. You got to be the light in the dark that you're seeing.
That's good. I like that. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it's the false motivation, but it's really, If you think about it this way, it's just know, and I don't care who you are, care how it goes. If you think of shitty things will happen. If you think this won't work, it won't work. If you
Yep.
think this is all bad luck, well, there isn't bad luck. But if you think it's all bad, it's going to stay bad. But if you can just turn your mind around when you're going through really bad shit, even if you're not, and I'm not saying to sit there and be like, oh, well, my house is on fire, but at least at least it's warm outside right now. That's not what I mean. But if you can really look at things like, you know what, this sucks, but I know damn well it's going to be okay. If the good things will come out of it, good things will come out of it. And that's
No, I
why I've
agree.
realized with all this stuff, when every bad thing has happened, even the shittiest of the shit, something good is honestly, I've ended up better at the end of it. But you just have to understand that's what's going to happen. You have to believe that's how it's going to work because it does work that way. But a lot of people say, oh, that's bullshit because I think that this is going to work out, but it doesn't because you don't actually believe it. You're just saying it is. But then, then you got to remember too, it's not just you're gonna say that and then all of a sudden, poof, it happens. You're gonna realize what it was about way after, like right after you get the answer. Like, why did this happen? Or why is this happening? Well, you'll know way after you get the fucking answer. You'll look back and be like,
Oh yeah.
got it.
Well, I can actually pinpoint every bad thing that's ever happened has led up to a very, very good thing. But at the same time, you can also go backwards and see the good thing that happened that bounced it back down. It's like you can actually see the roller coaster through my life. If
Yep.
it's actually put out in like a sheet, like a graph, you can see the bad parts and the good parts. And it's like the really good parts always ended right or already started right after a really bad part. And they'll go for a little bit plateau and then boom, drop down to a bad part. But it's not always going to be that way, and I know that. Like I've been waiting for that plateau to drop. And so far it's been minor inconveniences, but not like a bad thing. It's minor
Right.
inconveniences. And if we start looking at our life, such as your car breaking down, as a minor inconvenience instead of, oh shit, my car broke down. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Instead of looking at it as, shit, my car broke down. Now I got to get a new one. All right, let's find solutions. Like I did. I found a solution. My neighbor said, hey, I can give you a ride to work. Okay, cool. I got a Lincoln Navigator sitting outside. Well, I got it, and guess what? It drove fine one day, and now it's like the Cadillac converter clogged. So now I got to fix that. Another minor inconvenience. I think another thing a lot of people have an issue with is patience. They expect their work, like you go to the gym, you work out, you expect do you expect to be built and muscular the first time you go to the gym? No, it takes building. You have to build that up, right? It can take years to build to where you want to be, right? So that's patience. It takes time to build yourself. I don't care if it's mentally, physically, financially, spiritually. It takes time to build yourself to the point to where maybe you're happy. I don't see how anyone could be happy stopping at a point. I mean, in my personal opinion, it's just like I told you, you asked me how I would see myself successful. I can't. I won't ever see myself successful because the simple fact is I don't care if I'm multimillionaire or multi-billionaire or the richest man in the world. That's not success to me. Success to me is when future generations are set. They know where their place is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And as far like you said, when it seems like, when something, bad and then good, and it kind of has that, up and down effect. Part of that is also because when all this good stuff happens, you start feeling really good, right? What happens? All of a sudden you get comfortable.
Yep.
You get comfortable, and then all of a sudden you think, okay, well, I'm good. So I've been through everything. I'm good now. Well, the problem is that as soon as you say that, life's like, no, you're not. I'm going to show you. So it's almost like you're like, I got this. I'm good. I got it made now. I'm good. I don't have to worry about shit. And then,
Exactly.
life God's like, nope, absolutely not. But if you think about it, but here's a way to think about that though. If you can really wrap your mind around this, because how I operate now is I actually, I crave all of the bad shit. Like I crave every,
Oh, I love it.
like, and it sucks because like when you go through, you're like, this fucking sucks, right? But I love all the bad shit because I see what has come out of every single bad situation, and it's always way better than what it was when you started. So if you can really turn your mind around and say, you know what, give me the bad shit, but you have to actually mean that, because if you say that and then the shit happens, you weren't ready, it's a
Oh
fucking
yeah.
disaster.
It's like the those minor inconveniences we deal with, it's like, okay, let's do this. I got this. It no longer becomes, oh, fuck, that happened. Now I'm fucked. What am I going to do? And now it's like, oh, so we're doing this today. All right, let me rock this out real quick. Then we'll get back to your regular scheduled programming. But
Right.
it's like right there. Taylor says, speaking to the existence. Chrono just said, self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense. If you think something bad will happen, it will. Same with
It
good.
will.
Yeah. I agree to disagree with that, by the way, because if you think something bad's going to happen, it's going to happen. But at the same time, if you think something good's going to come out of it, you've got to also expect bad as well, because you will never, it's just like I said, you can never, ever, ever truly appreciate good days without those bad days. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise life would be boring. If you didn't have bad days, life would be fucking boring. Sorry. Everyone looked the same. Everyone had the same day. It'd be a fucking boring life. And that's what makes life so beautiful, is the fact that we do have those bad days to remind us, hey, we're fucking human. We fuck up. We have bad days. We have bad hair days. Oh, my makeup's not on point as far as you women go. But guess what? It's how you deal with those bad days that defines you.
That's it. 100%. That's exactly what it is. It's how you deal with the shit. If you go through some bad shit and it keeps you down, you stay down. Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Because no one else is going to bail you out of it. No one else can get you out of that stuff, right?
No.
It's impossible. But that's the thing is, when people ask for shit like this, and I think I've about it too, is, you're sitting there, you're like, man, I really want this. I really want this. I really want to be this type of person. I want to do this. And then things go downhill. Well, you're actually getting what you asked for, because if you had the attributes, you had the characteristics to be that person, you would already be that person.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you would be. So you're asking to be, I'm here, but I want to be here. Okay, well, here's the problem is we're going to have to bump your ass back down a little bit to get rid of all the bullshit to build you back up. Like you said, it's an up and down process, right?
I agree.
But a lot of people think that when one bad thing happens, like, oh, this is shit.
I can't do this. Nope. I'm not meant to do this. This is bad, so I'm not meant to do it.
But that's the hard part. That is the fucking hard part, is to keep going and be like, you know what? This is why this is happening, because I asked for this shit.
Yep. And that goes back to the point, I asked for patience. I was delivered 5 kids, right? Like I'm currently, and a lot of you guys know that's in the chat now, because you actually know me in real life. I'm currently a single dad of 5 fucking kids, and I'm going to tell you right now, these kids, as most of you guys know that are in the chat, they ain't easy. Believe me, they ain't easy. Okay. But that's because why? I caused this issue myself. My kids don't like to listen. Why? Because I spoiled them when I got them back. When I got them back from foster care, man, I spoiled the shit out of them. That was a fucking mistake. That brings us to the next thing. When you're raising kids, don't spoil them. Only do what you're prepared to, because once they turn 13, 14 years old, they become their own people. But, there's a lot. Oh, thank you, brother. That actually means a lot, Chrono. There's a lot of things that we do as people that we don't necessarily realize that's actually screwing us over. Well, I don't like my life the way it is, but I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, go drink, and go party. Why the fuck would you do that? You don't like the way your life is. Why are you going to drink and go party? If you want to change, you've got to be willing to sacrifice things. And I told my kids this today, because my kids are like, "Oh, Dad, I think Riley goes, I want to take over your stream. I want to be a streamer, because I do Twitch streaming as well. I haven't done it in a while, but you know what I mean." And I said, "Okay, fine. What are you willing to sacrifice?" He goes, "What do you mean? What are you willing to sacrifice? You've got the world of opportunity to you. What are you willing to sacrifice to go get that?" He goes, "Well, I don't understand what you mean." I was like, "Are you willing to sacrifice your attitude?" And what I mean by his attitude, my son is disrespectful as shit. His grades are poor. So what I tell him, I said, "All right, here's the deal. You get your grades up to C's, you start showing respect to your teacher and start showing a positive attitude around this house and around school." Because, your typical 14-year-old and 15-year-olds, they know everything. So, they're way emotional. Granted, yes, he's still processing his emotions. He's learning, right? So I told him, I was like, you start trying to have a positive outlook on things. I'll let you take over the stream. Not a problem. Now, whether that's going to happen, who knows? My daughter, she wants to do makeup tutorials. Congratulations. How are you going to pay for the makeup to do tutorials? Well, you're going to have to pay for it. I have to pay for your makeup so you can do tutorials. That doesn't seem very fair. So what do I tell him? I told her, no, you're going to have to figure out a way to pay for your own makeup. You either start doing extra chores around here, do something. So one thing that I'm trying to do with my kids is I'm trying to tell them, you want to build a business, you build the business yourself. You don't rely on me. Can I loan you money? Sure, I'll loan you money, but how are you going to pay me back? I think you were on the phone when I was doing the making them actually bid for it. I was having them actually proposition me. I felt like I was on Shark Tank. It was funny as shit. But that's okay. That's honestly that's how you're supposed to. You're supposed to teach your kids to be adults, right? You're not supposed to be best friends with your kids. And that's what I keep trying to explain to my everyone. You're not supposed to be best friends. You're supposed to guide them. By guiding them, how do you do it? You teach them the shit you weren't taught. I was never taught how to talk in front of people because no one around me was successful. So they didn't have to, write out business plans. They didn't have to possibly put up a promo to a bank to try to sell themselves. These are skills that people should learn because that's part of life. Schools don't teach that. Do you think a school teaches you to go to fill out loan paperwork for a house? Fuck no. But as parents, that's our job. Right? We were locked out and said, "Come back when the street." Oh yeah, I remember that. Being locked out and told, "Hey, don't come back till streetlights come on." My mom actually had a whistle. Like, it was the most annoying whistle. I know if Vanessa's still in the chat, I know she remembers that. That was the most annoying whistle ever. She'd stick her fingers in my mouth. Oh man, you can hear it from miles away. But I think we're getting ready to end pretty soon, so I'm going to go ahead and open up to questions and comments. If you guys have any questions for Kevin or I, go ahead and ask them now. We'll do our best to answer them. In the meantime. We'll wait for you guys to have a chance to message.
I can't read the shit, so if it comes up, you have to tell me what it says.
I'll read them. I did actually see a question earlier. Where was it? It was about the podcast. I don't know if she's still in here. But I think here shortly. Go ahead.
That's another thing. If anybody has any questions, throw them on the comments too. Like when it comes up, throw them on the comments. Absolutely. Yeah. Answer them when they come in.
So I will say that I do try to answer every comment on the lives, especially after the live. I'll try to answer comments. If you guys actually have any suggestions as well, type them down here in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this shit out because you're only going to help the channel grow. I am like I said, I'm looking at growing this YouTube channel into something big. I want to help people through fitness. I want to help people through mindset changing and all that. But I'm sorry, ladies, but I mainly am looking at trying to help parents. I'm trying to teach single fathers how to be better fathers. Because I had to learn the hard knocks. I know Chrono Gamer, same thing. He's had to learn through the school hard knocks. Chrono. I know me and you. We've been through hell for our kids, man. That. By the way. Kevin, Chrono Gamer is actually a friend of mine that actually lives here where I live. Okay. Amazing guy. Awesome guy. I'll tell you right now. And I'm hopefully going to get his book. He has actually a book out on Amazon right now that he wrote. So
awesome.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. What's it called? What is it?
He sent me a message. Give me a sec. I'll let you know. Don't forget Amazon. His book is called Shadows of Senility. I can't pronounce that name. I apologize. It shows how to write checks in school, but that's obsolete now. Yeah, right. They show us how to write checks in school, but that was obsolete now.
Yeah.
It's senility, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Chrono. I really am. But if not, I apologize. And I don't know how to bring it up on here, or I would.
We can figure that out next time before we
hop on. Next time I'll figure out somehow how to bring it up. It's about a guy. Okay, so his book is about a guy working in a group home with retired Mata guys? Mafia. I think it's Mafia. Okay. I hope. I think that was a typo. I'm literally like, Madia? Retired Madia guys. I don't know what a Madia is. So if it is Madia, I have no clue what that is. Mafia guys, I think. Yeah, Mafia. Okay, good. All right. See? I can speak typo. Thank you. But yeah, so if you guys can go check it out on Amazon, right? It is on Amazon, right? Yeah. Get it here. Shadows of Serenity or Senility. Oh, senility. In other words, like senile. So I get it. Okay. Duh. But yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I think I think he said free copy the 26th, right? Tomorrow through the 26th. So for Kindle readers. So if you have Kindle, go check it out. And if you can, go over to Amazon and actually give him a review on the book. Let him know how he did. This is your first book, right?
I'm gonna check it out myself too.
It's free. It's free tomorrow. It's a book I wrote. Is this your first book or what is this? I don't have Kindle though. I guess I'm gonna have to get Kindle now. Damn it! Another subscription. I'm never gonna get rich by buying all these subscriptions now. No, I'm just joking. But so I'm gonna go ahead and end this live, y'all. I want you. Oh, it's first full release. Way to go,
Awesome.
man! Way to go.
Good stuff.
So,
That's awesome.
You know, I may have to get with you, Chrono, to talk to you about some things as soon as we can. But it's free without the sub. What do you mean it's free without the sub? No, it's free without the sub. Okay. Oh, it's free without the subscription. Never mind.
There you go.
I don't know what.
Jeez.
It's a late. Like it's 11:19, guys. It's 11:19 here. Okay, come on. I'm no man in bed by here. Actually, no, I'm not. I don't go to bed.
No, you're not.
3 o'clock.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's straight up lies. I don't sleep. I try, but yeah. Anyways, so with that said, y'all go check out Chrono Gamer's new book, full release, free from starting tomorrow to the 26th. Check it out. Don't forget to check out nocutcards.com, the official nocutcards.com. Put your story in, check out the merch site. And also, if you guys are feeling, what's the word, the holiday spirit, check out 2vetsK9training.com. Check out the Battle Buddy program where you can donate to help a veteran get a Battle Buddy free. You can donate money to help a veteran get a canine, a service dog for free.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Awesome cause. Awesome. Awesome.
I love it. So when I first met Austin from 2vetsK9, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly thought it was all bullshit. I did. Because I met him through TikTok and you know how TikTok is. But I actually got to meet him. I went down to Oklahoma and you know, I've been endorsing him ever since. He's an amazing guy. He himself is a veteran who actually has a service dog himself, which is Leo. Awesome dog. You know, judging by his looks, he'd scare the shit out of me because like this dog is huge. But yeah, like I said, Austin's an amazing guy. 2vetsK9, check him out. And if you're a civilian, just know this. Okay, so if you're a civilian and you are in the Oklahoma City area, check out 2vetsK9 because if you pay for a session, a veteran gets a session free. So
that's awesome.
How it works. He put. Look, when I say the guy puts everything into his Battle Buddy program, I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, I don't think this guy gets any money from. Send me stuff and messages about the service dog so I can support that. I definitely will, bro. I definitely will. So with that said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end this live. So if y'all want to stick around for the outro, you can. If not, it's all good. But remember to come back to the live after it's posted and give us a like, comment, and give us some suggestions. We would really love some suggestions. Also, don't forget to go check out the official No Cut Cards on YouTube as well. Check out his shorts. I swear, you guys, when I say this man is a mindset coach, he is a genius when it comes to it because he's straight. No bullshit. He's not going to, I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to pussyfoot around. He's going to tell you straight blunt truth. If you're lazy, you're probably fucked. So if you're lazy or you're a bum, don't even bother. Just saying. If you're not willing to work on yourself, don't even bother.
That's
But
good.
y'all, with that said, as Two Vets says, know you're loved. Fuck, you know what? I'm just gonna bring him up and let him say it. Two Vets, unmute and say your thing. Hurry up.
Hey, know you're loved. But I
Shit.
enjoyed
Really
Even
now.
he screws it up.
Oh shit.
Go ahead, brother.
I enjoyed seeing you today. Know you're loved, but most importantly, don't ever, and I mean don't ever, forget to be awesome, because you are. And until next time.
Abracadabra.